Case it's fullback.
They'll try to end it with a touchdown. Brandon Jacobs to the end zone and cementing home field for the end.
Not bad to have a guy who weighs 265 on the goal line running the ball for you. Joining us now, national correspondent for ESPN. He also covers the NFL for SportsCenter and Sunday NFL Countdown. Sal Paolantonio, author also of a great book, How Football Explains America. Welcome back, Sal.
Good morning.
How's the book doing? We get the Morning Joe bump for you there?
Morning Joe bump was bigger than Oprah, I got to tell you. It was huge. The last time I was on here, it went right to #1 Amazon.com sportsbook. That's why I'm back, Willie.
I hope the promo department was listening. Bigger than Oprah. Put that in a clip. All right, you were at the Meadowlands last night. You watched the Giants. There was a little bit of uneasiness in New York the last couple weeks. They lost to Philly. They lost to Dallas. Was the magic gone? Did they recapture that last night?
Yeah, I think that they did. I talked to Eli Manning after the game, and that was the specific question I asked him. Did you get that magic back from the Super Bowl? They were down by 8 points in the fourth quarter. They had a long drive, then the two-point conversion, and then, of course, they win in overtime. And Eli Manning said, yeah, I think it is back. I hope so because, you know, we've got to build on this. And you're right, 2 weeks of frustration, 2 weeks of doubt about who they were. And getting Brandon Jacobs back was very big. But Derek Ward, that change of pace back, that was just unbelievable. They had 300 yards rushing last night against a very good Panthers defense.
Ward had more than 200. Do you think that's the NFC Championship game again?
It could very well be.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two teams that are built to play in the playoffs.
Yep. Some strong defense, though, too.
Strong defense, good running games are built, and quarterbacks who can make the big play and don't make the big mistake. That's important.
And I actually think they're getting a Plaxico Burress bounce. Allow me to be the first to say that I think they're pivoting on that controversy around Plaxico Burress and maybe coming back from it.
It took a while, though, Carlos.
Yeah.
It really did for them to gel without Plaxico on the field.
Now, what about the other team in New York, the Jets? They were looking like the Cinderella story. Brett Favre comes and rescues the team that always plays second fiddle in New York. They have slumped. Any shot they make the playoffs now?
Well, I think they obviously are a long shot. They need help. It's not just enough for them to beat the Dolphins at the Meadowlands next week. They're going to have to hope that the New England Patriots lose to the Bills up in Buffalo. So, you know, they put themselves in a hole. They couldn't win on the West Coast. And it sure looks like it from yesterday that Brett Favre is beginning to run out of gas.
Yeah, it looks that way. All right, we got Joe and your old friend Pat Buchanan down in Washington. Joe?
Sal, on Friday, the New York Times wrote an article saying that Belichick's greatest coaching job ever, forget all the Super Bowls, forget the amazing run that he's had, but that it's this year, that Belichick has done more with less in 2008 than ever before. It's an extraordinary job. Do you agree?
Oh, they've had 44 different starters due to injuries. They lost Rodney Harrison. They lost Tom Brady. They've had injuries to Teddy Bruschi, who's the heart and soul of the team. But for Matt Castle to start a football game in the National Football League after not starting in college and just starting in high school, and for them to put up the kind of numbers that they are doing, I agree with that assessment. I think that Bill Belichick, and let's not forget about Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, who's the John Gruden of the 21st century. Castle and McDaniels are printing money right now in New England. I mean, they're looking at this point, two guys who are going to go someplace and make big dough.
Pat.
Yeah, Sal, I want to ask you, based on what you said last time, that football you found was a metaphor for war, for ground war. It's sort of a moral equivalent and everything. And Sammy Baugh just died last week. And he sort of took football from the ground game into the air game. In other words, now football is really an aerial war. Does that metaphor stand up, and is there any correlation, you think?
Oh, there definitely is, Pat. I mean, Slinging Sammy Baugh was definitely the guy that transformed the game from a running game to a passing game from the mid-30s into the mid-40s. And now, I mean, what I write in the book is about how military culture influenced the game throughout the decades. The important point is discipline, organization, teamwork, whether you're running the football or passing the football. That's how football explains America. Teamwork, camaraderie, discipline, and organization, Pat.
How do you explain a guy like Matt Ryan, Boston College guy, first year, takes the Falcons to the playoffs? Has any rookie done that before? I mean, done that since, God, I guess, Marino with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I would say Marino. Ben Roethlisberger, of course, is another great example. But, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers had a foundation. The Dolphins had a foundation, Joe. You look at the Atlanta Falcons, their quarterback is put in jail, their coach walks out on them, and you're starting out with a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback. And, you know, Matt Ryan is all about two things: skills and leadership, and that comes from the pedigree of his family. I know who they are. They're from Pennsylvania. He went to Penn Charter High School around Philly. This is a guy who's got mad skills and character.
What a winner. What a winner. Thanks, Sal, so much.
Sal, good to see you.
Good to
His
see you,
book,
Mika.
of course.
Well, it's how football explains America. What a great book. And I actually bought it for both my kids for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
Thank goodness they don't wake up this early. Coming up, we're talking to Courtney Hazlett about what's brewing.
What is brewing?
What's brewing? We'll be right back.
Indecisions bugging me. Indecision may molest you. If you don't